Good evening and welcome to the DBS News in Review. Among major developments during the past week, search for missing 12-year-old Kernisha Etienne continued as family of abductor Keyan Alexander questioned legality of his killing during apprehension. East stand of the Windsor Park Sports Stadium renamed after former Windward Islands cricketer Thomas Kentish. And Discover Dominica Authority revealed a 300% increase in stayover visitors for Dominica. I am Jaya Pendeng. Details when we return.
DBS Radio now brings to you professional and quality live streaming services for all your funerals, special occasions and events. Contact us today at 448-3282 or 448-3283 or email us at dbsradio@cwdom.dm. DBS Radio, your new era in broadcasting. Contact us today.
Welcome back. And Attorney General Levi Peter responded to statements by Attorney Tiani Behansen that the shooting death of Keyan Alexander of Bells on June 18 was an extrajudicial killing.
The most concerning element is the outrageous and baseless, utterly baseless claim by the attorney, entirely without any supporting evidence whatsoever, that the demise of the violent abductor of this child was an extrajudicial killing. In other words, that the abductor had been unlawfully killed. This claim, this outrageous claim, is totally and completely false and is denounced in the strongest terms.
The Attorney General also described Behansen's claims that the viewing of the body by the coroner's jury was unusual, improper and unlawful as incorrect.
Section 22 of the Coroner's Act, Chapter 430 of the 2017 Revised Laws of Dominica, which so far as is material provides, and I state, when a sufficient number of jurors have been impaneled, the coroner shall call upon them to view the body, close quotes. It is clear from this that there is no obligation for the coroner's jury to view the body with the family of the deceased person, and it is most certainly not unlawful for the coroner's jury to view the body without the family being present. As regards the attendance of an attorney at an inquest or post-mortem, Section 30 of the Coroner's Act, to which the attorney referred, gives no such right, and certainly not in relation to attendance at a post-mortem. Section 30 of the Coroner's Act provides, and I quote, "No counsel or solicitor shall be entitled as of right to appear in any proceedings before a coroner's court, but the coroner may, if he thinks fit, on application, permit such appearance," close quotes. It is therefore clear that any permission granted by the coroner is restricted to appearance before the court, and in any event does not extend to attendance at a post-mortem.
Meantime, a principal of Warner Primary, Erickson Bertrand, said he is grateful for the assistance students have received to deal with the disappearance of 12-year-old Kernisha Etienne.
Well, it is rather miraculous how we have been kept alive here and kept working. It is really by God's grace, because there is no other force, there is no other power besides the Almighty God who could help us. We really do not know how we have done it for the past 14 days, but God has kept us together. God has kept our sanity and given us that faith and that hope that all is well.
Students and teachers alike expressed optimism that Kernisha will return safely. The school also held a Thanksgiving ceremony last Wednesday, which marked 15 days since the 12-year-old's disappearance. A Virgin Lane family was thrust into mourning following the sudden death of 12-year-old Genevieve Sanford from a seizure last Monday. Her mother, Samantha St. Rose, told DBS News seizures was something her late daughter suffered from.
Genevieve was a loving child. Genevieve was just, she'll want to have you driving up the walls. But when you reach up the wall, she'll ask you if you're okay. That is Genevieve. She always wants to have the last word. No matter what you tell her, she have the last word. She was a loving child because she epileptic, so it was kind of holding her back. So I was just hoping for whatever she give me, I am proud of her. Whatever she was going to give me, I will be proud of her because she was a special child. She'll go to school, she'll trouble everybody in the school, and then after she'll come and tell everybody she loved them. She was just a one of a kind.
Principal of the St. Martin Primary School, Brunette Morrow, also spoke to DBS News following Genevieve's passing.
So our school is in mourning after losing Genevieve, a student who is known by every teacher and practically every student at the school. She was a special child in that we know that she got seizures and she was in grade 6. Her reading was very good actually. She was already reading at grade 6 level, so that means she was doing very well. Very meticulous. There is nothing the teacher could write on the board that she would not be able to copy for you. And she was determined. When you see it is written, she has to finish it. She left no work undone. Her work was always completed. Although she was slower, she would stay there afterwards and finish what she had to finish. You know, so she is that special child. I call her my child. Anytime I met the parents or whatever, where's my child? You know, she was caring and loving and never missed a day she didn't see me. She would come by the office. I come and look for Mrs. Morrow, just put her head in, look for me, and go right back to her task. And she did that with many of the teachers who taught her. You know, just going to see how they were doing and come back. Very loving child, very loving. All the children loved her, and all the children know her because of that. You know, so the news this morning really shocked the school. You know, the Ministry of Education sent a team of counselors to the school. Our counselor, our chaplain also came to the school just to talk to the students, talk to the teachers who are not doing so well. And so that is our mood for today. A grade 6 student who is preparing for exams on Thursday and Friday. So it's really a tough one for us, really a tough one.
A memorandum of understanding was signed between World University Science of Canada, WUSC Caribbean, and the Dominica State College for a mentorship program. Through the program, 19 students of the Dominica State College will get hands-on agricultural experience. The 6-week initiative begins tomorrow and is part of the Sustainable Agriculture in the Caribbean, or SAC project in Dominica, funded by the Canadian government.
The aim of this mentorship program is primarily to facilitate the introduction of increased production in terms of the students being able to gain real-time, practical, hands-on experience from the farmers who are toiling the soil, the farmers who are implementing resiliency within their agricultural practices. The students will be assigned with placement organizations who are very well represented here, and these organizations include the Central Women Farmers Group, nicely represented by a few of our ladies today. We also have students being placed in the Ministry of Agriculture, students being placed with DEXIA, the Northeast Women Farmers Organization, and the Bellevue Women Farmers Group as well. So quite a bit of knowledge will be shared and among these various participants. The mentorship program facilitates what we refer to as a win-win situation for both students and placement organizations. As part of ensuring the success of the program, WUSC Caribbean is prepared to partner with the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that there are the necessary M&E, or monitoring and evaluation. We will be conducting some site visits to monitor and evaluate the program to ensure that it meets its objectives.
WUSC is leading the SAC project in Dominica and partnered with the Ministry of Agriculture and the State College to launch the mentorship program. According to President of the Dominica State College, Dr. Donald Peters, the initiative is important to Dominica's climate resilience agenda. The third cohort of the Work Online Dominica program graduated last Wednesday. The Work Online program is an initiative of the government in collaboration with IsraAid and UNDP. Country Director of IsraAid, Nicole King, has told graduates of the Work Online Dominica program that they should see themselves as Dominica's digital ambassadors.
We know it takes time and effort, and that sometimes it can be frustrating. But if you work hard, it is actually possible to be part of the more than 1 billion freelancers enjoying the benefits of remote work worldwide. You are becoming Dominica's digital ambassadors. You are showing the world the quality that exists here. You are opening the doors for those who will come later. You are supporting Dominica to lead the Caribbean digital transformation. We are ready to show this initiative to the region and to the world, to share the potential of Dominica's digital transformation, to share the knowledge, to show how a strong governmental leadership and strategic direction, together with a vision and partnerships, can create an enabling environment for this type of programs to succeed.
It was during the ceremony, Minister for Public Works and the Digital Economy, Senator Kasani Laville, revealed that Dominica is to invest $8 million to transform healthcare as part of the island's digital revolution.
As a government, we'll continue to lead this effort at transformation in this revolution right now. In so many other sectors, we continue to be committed. In healthcare, we expect to invest about $8 million to transform healthcare. We no longer want to see our healthcare professionals being bogged down with too much clerical work. Doctors, nurses, everyone else, they need to focus on administering care. And we're at this point where we need to use technology to ensure that we have the health information management systems digitalized completely.
We'll be right back.
DBS Radio now brings to you professional and quality live streaming services for all your funerals, special occasions, and events. Contact us today at 448-3282 or 448-3283 or email us at dbsradio@cwdom.dm. DBS Radio, your new era in broadcasting. Contact us today.
Party held a march against child abuse last Friday at Roseau. Leader of the opposition, Lennox Linton, said that child abuse prevention requires the collective responsibility of the Dominican people.
We need to understand very clearly our collective responsibility to prevent child abuse, to stamp it out from our society. It is not so much a government-only issue or politician issue or who is in opposition. It's a responsibility that belongs to all of us. And that is why I'm particularly pleased to see so many people to stand with the cause, to stand for the cause, and to ensure that we are moving in the direction of doing what is right for our children, the future of Dominica.
The east stand of the Windsor Park Sports Stadium renamed after former Windward Islands cricketer Thomas Kentish last Friday. Kentish said he is honored with the honor bestowed on him.
Yeah, well, these people are my mentors, so at least I follow their footsteps. There are a lot of times I played cricket, I played football, not getting anything. But the most important thing is that was my contribution to Dominica. And that's why I will always remain the same person I am.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit attended the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Rwanda from June 20 to 25. The heads of government were expected to reaffirm the common values of member states and agree on actions and policies to improve the lives of citizens. The meeting schedule included the Commonwealth Women's Forum, Commonwealth Youth Forum, and ministerial and high-level meetings. The election of the Commonwealth Secretary General also took place during the meeting. Minister for Governance and the Public Service Greta Roberts said a reclassification exercise for the public service is well underway, as 250 positions in the service were reviewed last week. The reclassification exercise, conducted by the Caribbean Center for Development Administration, or CARICAD, could determine whether certain positions in the service are elevated.
The organizational review and reclassification for the public service of Dominica is a multi-pronged, multi-phased initiative to provide a comprehensive analysis of the organizational structure of ministries and departments, and an evaluation of salaries and compensation structure. The exercise will strengthen and empower the public service to carry out its leadership role in Dominica's climate resilience efforts and achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Public Service Day was recognized last Thursday. Meantime, General Secretary of the Dominica Public Service Union, Thomas Leta, said he hopes the review of the public service will enhance the status of officers.
I can say to you that a lot of work has been done, and we are hoping that as soon as this thing is over, we can see the implementation of the recommendations arising from the consultation and the evaluation exercises that will take place very, very soon. The whole idea is that people are working and a value will have to be placed on the jobs that people do, so that there will be fairness in the salary that they get. It's something that we have been pushing for.
Mr. Leta said the results of the classification exercise should not replace salary negotiations on behalf of public officers. And the 11th Biennial Conference of the Public Service Union approved an increase in the subscription fees for members. Leta said members will now pay $25 for subscription fees effective August of this year. And the Government Housing Loans Board granted over $2 million in loans to public officers so far this year. That's according to Chairman Felix Thomas, who said the board is on track to ensuring affordable housing for public officers, adding that the funds granted so far are part of an overarching goal to grant $4.5 million in loans by the end of the first quarter of 2022.
We have already granted $2.3 million out of that $4 million that we had decided and said that we're going to do. So we are on target to ensure that we meet the housing financing of public officers. And I want to give a lot of credit to the Honourable Prime Minister, who has spared no effort to ensure that the monies could be raised by the Government Housing Loans Board to meet that target. We still have a long road to go, because housing is an essential part of the government housing revolution.
Bus drivers and taxi operators in Dominica expressed mixed reactions over the increased price of gas at the pump. Motorists are paying $16.47 a gallon of gas as of last weekend.
Honestly speaking, in my life of driving and running taxi and driving bus, I have never pay gas prices that high. Something is really wrong, because honestly speaking, the gas prices have been causing a serious havoc on us. Something better can be done, so to speak.
The fuel is a bit too expensive for us. I will buy what I can afford. I don't worry the price. If it's 20 I can buy, I will buy 20. I want no problem with gas price.
As the price go up, I'm just wondering if we'll get an increase on the bus fare.
Gas high, right? But that's not just a Dominica thing. There's a whole global crisis right now. So to be honest, I cannot make any comment about it to say like it's a bad thing, because that's a global thing now.
I find it's very expensive though. Very expensive for us. 16 something, it's a lot. The bus fee is not going up, because you can jack up the bus fee because the people check in, they don't give them a raise in their job or whatever.
Once gas is up, globally, it's going to affect everybody, because that's what runs the world economy. So I go with the flow. I'm coping, yes.
Meantime, Trade Director Mathan Walter said Dominica has been shielded from higher prices due to government subsidies.
Citizens, the increase in prices is presently our new reality. It has to be remembered that where those products are concerned, Dominica are price takers and not price makers. I therefore once again, as I've done before, urge prudence and an adaptation to the current realities to ensure our sustained comforts. The government of Dominica will continue, as it always does, to work towards easing the burden of this new reality on citizens as we tarry forward.
According to the Trade Director, the price of cooking gas has decreased. Destination Marketing Manager of Discover Dominica Authority, Kimberly King, reported a 300% increase in stayover visitors for Dominica as compared to last year. She said the figure represents significant growth for the sector.
We see a path of recovery for Dominica where a total of 8,050 stayover visitors were received in the last quarter of 2022, reflecting a 300% increase over the corresponding period in 2021. This performance also represented a 29% increase over quarter 4 of 2021, and a month-on-month improvements are seen in arrivals, with February arrivals increasing over 26% over January and March increasing 15% over February, where in the first quarter we actually saw March 2022 visitor arrivals being the second highest since the advent of the pandemic in 2020.
We now join DBS's Layla Langford for the evening's entertainment segment.
In this week's entertainment segment, we are speaking to one of Dominica's hottest artists/musicians on the streets. Most of us enjoyed some of his latest hits like Friday Richie Up Jimping Session. It barely had any words, but it took Dominica by storm during last year's independence season. But now let's take a look at the inspiration behind some of these hits. Mr. Rich, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm okay, thanks.
Okay, what inspired the Jimping rhythm?
Well, the Jimping rhythm was inspired by me growing up in through Jodel, and Jodel had the #1 Jimping band, and I used to watch the band playing, and then me had my influence through Buyo. I was trying to find a way to merge the two together. I'm really coming from modern song because I was fed up, not really fed up with the old time song, but coming something modern and trying to get the new song of Jimping. So what I did is I joined the Buyo with Jimping, traditional instruments, and also I realized that a lot of the young people don't really understand patois. So that's why I decided to give them a melody instead of lyrics, and just talk about the Lamoui and the Hausa, which everyone knows.
Okay, interesting. So can you tell us, when did you begin making music?
Okay, when I started my musical career, when I was around 14 years, I got my first keyboard from my dad. And I started taking classes by Miss Later, started doing classical music, and from there I started experimenting, making music.
We heard that you are releasing an album tonight, which I'm looking forward to. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, sure, I'm releasing my second album. It will be 12 songs. The album is On the Head, and this time we show a different side of me and the different genres of music that inspire me to make music.
Can you tell us who are some of the artists that will be featured on that album?
Okay, well, yeah, for sure. I have my friend Jolly, R.I.P., on the album. Also, a new artist I'm pushing, a guy named Dover. And also, Hooders is on the album.
Can you tell us your inspiration behind that album?
Well, the inspiration behind that album was just to show that anything can be put into Buyo. And it'll be one of my final Buyo albums for a while, because after that I kind of crossing into the other genres of music.
Okay, can you tell us one of your favorite hits on that album?
Well, I would say one of my favorite is Bump on the Head.
Okay, that's interesting. But can you tell us, will you be featured at any shows that will be coming up for the summer season?
Well, yeah, for sure. We have some shows lined up in Dominica. Next week will be Classified Nightclub, and also for El Tito at Salisbury. And also regionally, we have some shows in Guadeloupe, St. Vincent, St. Martin, Anguilla, Barbados, and also we'll be up in New York for the Labor Day.
Okay, what's next for Rich?
Well, what's next for Rich is just continue making music and pushing other artists and giving them a platform to express their music and to make money from music.
Well, that's it for entertainment this week. We were joined by Mr. Ridge ahead of his album release. I was your hostess, Layla Langford, signing out.
And that's all for us on this evening's DBS Week in Review. For more news, log on to our website at www.dbc.radio.net. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On behalf of the entire team here at DBS, I am Jaya Pendeng saying good evening.
DBS Radio now brings to you professional and quality live streaming services for all your funerals, special occasions, and events. Contact us today at 448-3282 or 448-3283 or email us at dbsradio@cwdom.dm. DBS Radio, your new era in broadcasting. Contact us today.